Hey there, this is Alana Terry, and welcome to the Successful Writer Podcast. We're going to be talking today about some of the recent changes to the three major ad platforms that authors tend to use, and the three major ad platforms that I teach the most, which is Facebook ads, Amazon ads, and BookWeb ads. Facebook and Amazon have had recent changes as of like February and March of 2020. BookWeb ads had a change 6 to 9 months ago. Don't quote me exactly on the date, but I'll fill you in case you never heard about that change as well. So, for anybody who wants more information about these three ad platforms, you can check out my author ads library. It gives you full courses on all three of those platforms at courses.alanaterry.com/library. And when you buy those courses, you also get all of the updates. So, all of this information that I'm giving you now, I update the students as things change. So, let's talk about Facebook first, because this is one that many authors use. And one of the recent Facebook changes has impacted certain authors in certain genres quite a bit. When you create an audience in Facebook, you are able to target by different interests. So you can target people who are interested in books in your genre. You can also target people who are interested in certain authors. What has happened is Facebook has cut down on the number of targets that we have and the number of authors that we can use. So as an example, Christian novel used to be a target that you could use, and now it's not there. Same thing with several Christian fiction authors that I liked to use for building my audiences. It didn't just impact people who write Christian fiction. There are just fewer authors and subgenres that you can use now. Biggest thing is don't worry about it. Again, anytime Facebook rolls something out, the rule of thumb is do not freak out. Just learn to roll with it. That's part of being indie. We're just small companies and we can adapt to these changes very skillfully. So don't freak out. See what audiences you do have. This could be a good time if you've ever done things like lookalike audiences of people who are on your newsletter list or people who have followed you on Facebook. This could be a good time to try those. It's also okay to target more broadly than you used to. So maybe you write cozy mysteries and you used to target cozy mystery and like 3 or 4 authors in the cozy mystery genre. And now let's say you wake up one day and cozy mystery is not there and 3 of those 4 authors are no longer there to target. Instead of freaking out, just find the next closest best thing. Maybe it's mystery books, right? And maybe instead of specifically the cozy authors that you used to use, it's Agatha Christie and a couple others like that. It is okay to create an audience whose interests are kind of tangential, but not exactly like yours. And then what Facebook does is they check the behavior of the people who are clicking on your ads, and they are going to start sending your ads to the people that they see are clicking. So that's my other tip, is give your ads a couple extra days to let Facebook's AI do the learning. Don't run an ad for 12 hours and then kill it when you haven't made a book sale. This is another reason why it's great to be indie, is because we can run ads at very small budgets, like $5 a day. So we're not going to break the bank before we are able to determine if something is working or not. Next up, let's talk Amazon ads. This is something cool that has rolled out really within the week, basically. And that is now any book that you are connected to in your Author Central account can run ads from your KDP account. Now, this means that if you are not the publisher of a book, but you're still an author of the book, you can run Amazon ads for it. So trad authors, this is finally your time to be able to run Amazon ads just like any other indie author did. Same thing, maybe you have a co-writing partner, or you've done a multi-author project where you're not the person who published that book on KDP, but now you can run ads for it. So all you need to do is make sure that you have claimed those books in your Author Central account. You can do this whether you're trad or a co-author or part of a multi-group project. Claim that book in your Author Central account. And then when you go to run ads from your KDP ads account, you will be able to find those books and run ads for those titles. So that is huge news. If tons of really big name trad authors jump on this right away, we might see an increase in cost per clicks. I don't think it's going to make waves that are that huge. I don't think we need to worry, but I think this is a great opportunity so that now if you have a book with a small press publisher or somebody else has published a book and you're a part of it, now you can run ads for that book. Last up, I want to talk about changes from last year to BookBub ads, just in case you didn't hear. So BookBub ads used to show to one person up to 4 times, and then that ad would no longer show to that reader. So if somebody is opening their BookBub emails every single day, they might see your ad Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they're never going to see that ad again. And so ads on BookBub especially were harder to make evergreen because BookBub doesn't have a huge audience when you compare it to Amazon and Facebook. And they limit it to only showing your ad 4 times. That's the old way. Now what they're doing is they are going to allow somebody to see your ad for an indefinite number of times, but they will only show that ad to somebody once out of every 4 days. And so now someone might see your ad on the 1st of the month, and then the 5th of the month, and then the 9th of the month, and on and on and on, but they won't see your ad 4 days in a row. This means that BookBub ads are now more evergreen, which is good news for a lot of authors. This also means that it might be harder if you're doing something very time sensitive, right? Let's say you're doing a 5-day Kindle countdown deal and you want to run BookBub ads for it. That ad's only going to show at most 2 times to somebody. It'll show it on the 1st day and then again on the 5th day. And so what you might need to do is basically just be running multiple ad campaigns, right? So hopefully somebody can see your ad. You know, if you really want to do something time sensitive, like every single day, I want as many people as possible to see my ads, then your goal will be to be running 4 or 5 ads so that on Monday they might see this ad, on Tuesday they might see that ad. You can use the same ad creative. It just needs to be set up as a new ad, or you can mix up your ad creative so there's a little bit of variety. That change was rolled out last year, but just in case people hadn't heard, since we're on the topic of kind of giving you an update on all these platforms, I wanted to share that. I would say right now, just sort of a state of the advertising platforms is that Amazon is pretty kind of slow and steady, kind of like always. They don't roll out tons of huge changes. The algorithm doesn't like change overnight like Facebook's does. It just kind of is. They keep showing ads and hopefully you keep making book sales. There are going to be some things you might be getting notices from Amazon that you need to update some of your things or claim certain books in your Amazon Author Central account, right, to keep on advertising. But in general, Amazon ads are just kind of doing what they've always done, which is running and hopefully selling your books. Facebook ads is the one that does seem to be more volatile, especially with these audience changes. And lots of volatility in the world means that there's volatility within Facebook ads. And that might not be changing anytime soon. So if you notice that your ads are not effective, don't freak out if like you have one bad ad day, right? Look at it over a week, 3 to 5 days at an absolute minimum before you decide, oh no, something broke with my Facebook ads. You can always pause, and sometimes that's a great thing to do. When you pause your ads on Facebook, when you restart them, they kind of feel like there's new energy because people haven't seen them in a little bit. And so it's like seeing something new. So every so often, if you're really getting concerned because your Facebook ads have stopped performing well, it might not mean that your ads are broken. It might not mean that you've set up anything wrong. It probably doesn't mean the sky is falling. But if you want to, go ahead and pause your ads. Try it again in 2 to 4 weeks, maybe. The other thing you can do is just change up your ad creatives. It's a good thing to do in general, you know, once a quarter or so, like for somebody who's really running lots of Facebook ads on an ongoing basis, changing up creatives, you know, minimum, I would say every 6 months, just to make sure that you're staying fresh. They're not quite as evergreen. Like I have some Facebook ads that have been running since 2018, right? And they're still doing really, really well. Facebook ads, they're not quite like that. There is more hand holding. And like I said, there's just more volatility. And that's just the way it is. BookBub ads seem to just kind of be doing what BookBub ads always do, which is showing your books to a small segment of people who are really excited about books. So that's kind of the recap. And again, if you're interested, the Author Ads Library gives you full courses on BookBub, Amazon, and Facebook. So that's a great resource that you can find at courses.alanaterry.com/library. And I hope you have a fabulous week. I hope your writing is going really, really well. And I hope that whatever marketing platform or platforms that you're using, that you are finding a lot of success there. And we will talk to you next time.